Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Orc coming to you with some more Company of Heroes 1v1 action. We got two players you've seen on this channel a few times before, but the first over here spawning in the west as the yellow OKW is a guy we haven't seen in probably 40 or 50 replays. Welcome back to the stage. It, of course, is Jove playing the OKW, and he's bringing along three very, very standard commanders: Scavenge Doctrine, Special Operations, and Breakthrough Doctrine. His opponent over here playing the United States forces in the purple trunks, it's going to be Pappy O Daniel, bringing along some standard ones of his own: Heavy Cav, Tac Support, and Armor Company. So no matter which way you slice it, we're going to see ourselves some awesome call-ins moving later and later into this game. Jove opening up very standard, going for 2 Volks opening, and Pappy O Daniel himself going kind of standard. The map itself is Bryansk Forest. And if I'm saying that wrong, please let me know, but I don't think that I am. I might be wrong on that one, though. I'm going to adjust this map so we can get a nice, little more of a head-on kind of look right here. You do see that a lot of this material is just strictly right up the 50-yard line. And we've seen this map, I think, one time before. I couldn't quote exactly which replay that was going to be. But you do notice right now that essentially what happens, you have these 2 rows of strategic points before you even get to something more important, with 2 positions necessary before you pick up your expansion fuel. And you also are going to see it can go either way, but for the most part, east is going to go south and west is going to go north. Also going to see some tank traps coming up from Pappy O Daniel, looking to create that awesome cover for his own troops, as well as laying down that wire to prevent the Germans from using it. Trip rifle opening, in fact, also opening up for Pappy O Daniel, and trying to think about anything else major happening. Well, 3 Volks for Jove. But Jove's troops are going to be outnumbered pretty darn quickly here, unless the Sturmpyos can add their own weight of fire to the side of this particular combat. Those Volks are somehow in cover. Allies not quite as much. And going to start to pay with that over here for their lives. Taking out a couple of Germans, but at the same time the Sturmpyos, shifting on forwards, getting into better range, are doing a really, really good job here, taking out their weight and Americans. Losing some by themselves, but all in all, doing a pretty good number on these first couple of squads here. It might be better for them to turn around and put pressure on this remaining squad of riflemen, but no, instead the Volksgrenadiers are going to be left hung out to dry. As the Sturmpyos limp back the other direction, and it's just one model? Yep, just one model left. Alright, and the Allies' soft retreat, there's that hard retreat, getting out of there right now. Germans will be the first one to lose tickets on this map, but don't see that happening for too much longer, as these riflemen right here are going to get pushed back soon enough, I would imagine. Although, with both sides, one's in cover, one is not. Breakthrough Doctrine being Jove's weapon of choice, it seems. And these Sturmpyos going to put some fire into the riflemen. It's going to be a very, very quick slide over, I believe. Sturmoffizier coming out for the OKW. And of course, let's get back over to him, just kind of give you guys a quick check again on his abilities. Of course, he's got Target Them, as well as that Forced Retreat. Forced Retreat is actually rather lovely. It's a fairly expensive thing, but if you can get that perfect engagement to get rid of somebody extremely vital to the war effort, well then, my friends, you have yourself a great engagement. And what we have here is the example right now of why rear echelons should not be used for frontline combat. 4 of them against 2 Volksgrenadiers, and for about 8-9 seconds before the Sturmpyos come in, and almost no health taken off the Volksgrenadiers. They were already pretty much at that in the first place. And the rear echelons, what do they have to show for it? Well, 45% loss of HP and a model being taken out. Sturmoffizier, in the meantime, coming out here. Is he going to go and throw down with a forced retreat? No, he's not. Might throw down on this guy right there. But of course, if he gets picked off, then everyone in the area tends to fall back. So interesting. Volks coming out of the east, not going to support this fire too much. Indeed, we're going to see target firing happening back and forth. The Walther bearing Offizier able to put fire, and there's that Target Them. Easier to hit. But of course, the enemy is fights a little bit harder. But the idea being that if you can pick off a squad on retreat, they're not going to fire back, are they? But they're not able quite to pick them off, so that's 40 munitions, just a teensy bit down the drain, just to push back that rifleman squad a little bit more. So, interesting trade-off right there. And a fairly quick Say battle group headquarters? I wouldn't see Jove putting on a mech regiment. I would... Then again, his infantry is in pretty good shape. We can kind of go back and forth in this one. The Panzer Fusiliers could be taken out as well. My guess is right now, considering how close he's building that, yep, it's a battle group headquarters. And we're very, very quickly going to see Panzer Fusiliers, I imagine, as soon as those first manpower gets back up a little bit more. Sturmoffizier not plopping down a forced retreat, and indeed his own forces are retreating. But a Schumann's being placed as well, so where is that going? Up here to the north, it looks like? South, excuse me, I'm sorry, moving around this map, it gives me a little all wonky. Getting back to that north-south orientation, there's the Panzer Fusiliers coming on in. These guys are really, really good at long-range firepower. But the closer you get, the worse they kind of get, all things considered. Now, Pappy should know exactly what he's playing up against. He is not any noob sort of player here. In fact, yep, he's going for the captain, so he knows that Jove might be going for that quick Panzer II, but the fact that he hasn't seen it already should really kind of give him a lot of comfort. And bringing in the captain instead is probably just a good way to kind of prepare for the later game armor opportunities for the Germans. Sturmoffizier inside this house is just far enough away that he can give a buff over here to these bad boys. Fight harder. I've always wondered what fight harder means. I've never honestly taken a big look at the numbers behind the Sturmoffizier. I think it is that their accuracy gets buffed up a little bit as well as damage. I imagine there's one of you out there that's correcting me even as we speak in the comments. Go for it. It's totally fine. I'm not a big fan of the Offizier myself, so I don't generally know the unit inside and out. Rear echelons diving on in. They're going to cut off the German supply situation for a little bit of time, at least until these Volksgrenadiers come to the south, and not even managing to do so. Now taking a slight detour as Jove does his own cut off, although not going to get him a whole lot of work done there just yet. Panzer Fusiliers, in the meantime, they are going to find the captain out over here to the north. They could always throw out a stick grenade, but not a big reason behind that, and there's absolutely no reason to throw out that anti-tank rifle grenade just yet, though the intelligence behind that's going to be more and more apparent as that Stuart comes out. Meta American being avoided like crazy, and they actually great, and we have some medics coming out for the Germans, so sorely abused infantry falling back like crazy across the battlefields to the north. In the south, we will see the Sturmpiles are largely unmolested, the only squad of Americans in the south, these rear echelons, and, excuse me, but they're getting carved to pieces. 450 to 487, though, as the Americans' infantry does slide down here to the center part of the map. And with a Rakettenwerfer on the field now, I would kind of wonder how much this Stuart's really going to get done. That's a zippy little tank. But all the pluckiness in the world will not help you if your opponent's got a fair bit of AT. And between Fausts and the anti-tank grenades and the like, it could be quite nifty indeed for the Germans. Sturmpiles are going to be forced to run back through all of the enemy firepower. And indeed, is this guy in cover? Yes, he's camouflaged right now. He's got hold fire as well. So we might see an attempt to lure this Stuart on in, but he might be too canny for that. And indeed, it will look like, yep, he's just going to engage from a distance. And I believe as well that that Volksgrenadier squad has also utilized a Panzerfaust, perhaps. It's either that or that Schumann. Entirely possible it's a Schumann, but I would have thought there'd be a little more damage being done. Yeah, actually, a little while ago, I ended up having the luck to see a Schumann, and they're much smaller than you might think. Kind of belies how much damage they do in this game. I imagine there is some balancing issue that's being done there, but the Schumann is literally about the size of, well, I guess a child's shoe. Like a big child, perhaps. It's not that big, though.
Is under attack.
Allies, in the meantime, do have a trip cap for the time being. That's not going to last too long, though. as Volksgrenadiers with STGs are going to continue to make the southern side of the map completely and totally German. Alright, we have a small American field point being protected down there to the south, but to the north again we just see the Sturmpiles moving wherever the Americans aren't. And Pappy just keeps getting pulled down to the south on bad engagements. We might even see a, yep, here comes a flank coming around behind by the Panzer Fusiliers. And we could see, oh no, we're not going to. I was going to say we could see a great opportunity right there for a grenade, but instead, oh my gosh, it's going to be weapon racks, so BARs are going to come in instead, and that's going to really, really hurt. You're going to see these Panzer Fusiliers take some really severe losses as they retreat. Just watch their health fly away, along with the models. Especially as the Stewart comes into play. Another one goes down, dropping to 50% health in the squad. In terms of just raw models. In terms of raw health, 35 or 40%. It's definitely a reason for them to back off. However, we are going to see this with Gettenwerf get a good, solid smack in there. And these Volksgrenadiers might be shifting in, trying to put some pressure onto the ally tank. Shockingly, a 3-0 cap has become a 2-0. It'll be a 2-1 in about 15 seconds here. And for the time being, the Germans seem to have a fair bit of things under control. We're starting to see some blob play out of Jove as he shifts 3-4 squads down to the south. Sturmoffizier kind of makes sense. Those guys don't do much on their own, but being in the area means that even these Volksgren should get the whole buff from the Germans. Excuse me, from the Offizier's appearance. Captain, in the meantime, his troops, his retinue over there been slaughtered. And to the north, we're going to see, yep, the Sturmpiles backing away in the face of the BARs. But intelligently, Pappy realizes that wherever there's a great number of Germans, there should be no Americans, because, well, that's just not a great recipe for survival now, is it? The question really becomes now is, where did this SWS go? I imagine, considering the position to the north, it was going to be a Schwerpanzer headquarters, probably up and right about here, to control a position up to the north, prevent easy flanks, and to also control this pathway through. Plopping it down to the south, though, could be a decent position, not ideal necessarily. And as always, I do love this animation. It's just so beautiful. Let's just appreciate this for a second, please, guys. A mortar is finally out for the Americans, so if they find out where this headquarters is, it could be pretty hot. But it seems the Germans might already know that that mortar is in play, as their unfortunate machine gun crew buys it. Faust coming out? No, not quite. Could have been a great opportunity for a Faust. But instead, a grenade comes out over on the rear echelons. Oh, no. It's going to be just burninating like crazy. But it's not going to be enough to pick off that squad. No, sir. It's going to retreat in time, so the MG-34 goes over to the Americans, giving Pappy O Daniel a very, very big edge in current firepower.
Area secured. Battalion just released a major for action.
Major has been called in, so folks, we are going to expect to see some Shermans later on. Again, at this point, what would I choose if I were him? I know my opponent's gone for breakthrough, so I know the late game Jagdtiger is brutal against vehicles. However, I got to get up to that 15 command points in the first place. I know my opponent's not getting it for at least another 4 or 5 minutes. And 280 fuel is an awful lot for something that's only good against vehicles. So if I were him, I'm wondering if I should go tax support. Tax support's kind of a waste already, since you've already gone the BAR route. Heavy cab could be a good idea if you're really playing for that late game Pershing. But again, if you're doing that, you might as well just go armor company and build like a 105 bulldozer, which you can get next 2-3 minutes.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Let's just say, though, it seems unlikely he's going to go for tactical support. At least we'll just hopefully settle on that one. Of course, now that I said that, casting Curse, watch it just be that tax support company just to kind of screw with me. Meantime, Captain and the Major are having a conversation down here. Volksgrenadiers moving in to kind of force this back. Not going to be too simple of that for them. Volksgrad being forced back by both the Stuart as well as the Rifleman. In the south, the officers are trying to stand strong against this German push, but it's not going to be particularly easy as SDGs start to appear in all manner of squads. From the Sturmoffizier as well as the Panzer Fusiliers being able to entertain all of these troops at long range, the firefight is going to get progressively more and more pro-German. You can see that happening right now. Bazooka shots exploding all over the place, but that thing is not an anti-infantry weapon. That's an anti-vehicle for a reason, my friends.
A capture point is being overrun.
Then again, considering the current state of the tickets, Pappy O Daniel isn't too concerned about that. I would say that all he's trying to do is just waste a little bit of time. But an MG appears over on the one flank, and the rear echelons are going to get carved to pieces by these Sturmpiots, which are just coming up right next to him. They are pinned. This squad's going to get taken out. That's a dead squad right there, my friends. And is he really building? No, he's not. That looks like a Sherman. But for some reason, I was looking at it, I think it was a priest for half a second. That silhouette just completely confused me. Because I'm so used to seeing the super late game material out of the Allies as Rakettenwerfer coming under a ton of firepower, trying to hold tough, but not able to do so. But the BARs are just barely holding on long enough to push away the immediate German position. But the Shrek will come forward and do a very, very good hit. God shot, here it comes. I'm sensing it. Calling a shot? No, he's not going to. Sturmpiots are not going to be able to pick off that Stuart. It's a lucky, lucky thing right there for the for the Americans. But this Major decides it's probably better for him to reconnoiter the rear. And off he goes. Now I'm wondering, would it be better to have Jove call in another one of these Shrek-armed Sturmpiot squads? It would be better for him just to hang on and just build a later game tank. At this moment, considering his choices between the Jagdpanzer, between that, as well as the Panzer IV and the Panther, I would probably say picking up that Panzer IV would be the best immediate option. The narrow firing lanes would suggest immediately going for something like the Jagdpanzer, but considering how mobile both the Stuart as well as the Sherman really kind of are, might be a better opportunity for him to get a mobile turret in the face of what will surely be devastation. Some Volkswagen has been pinned. Where's that been pinned by? Oh, it's been pinned by the captured MG-34. Tanks are pushing up from the south. They're going to be able to roll up the German flank. And you are seeing the Germans recognize that immediately. Trying to push back slowly. And the captured MG gets pushed away. Now, unluckily enough for the Germans, until this squad right here does get pinned, they will continue to pin the German side of things, because that's how pinning works. If your opponent has you pinned, any source of fire will continue to have your guys pinned unless there's no fire coming your way. 243 to 446. Jove is down 200 tickets, which is very, very shocking for me. Jove is one of those players that tends to be either up a bajillion or he's down a bajillion. So as of this moment, he is definitely down a bajillion. And calling in a second Rakettenwerfer to kind of help surprise the Allied armor is probably the best call he can make under the circumstances. Now, this Sherman as well doesn't have the AP. He's got the HE going on right now, and that's a great, great decision to attack all of this extra armor. See that there, one shot, and the squad practically vanishes. Which infuriates me sometimes about how easy it is to take out squads with HE ammo. And for some reason, that Rakettenwerfer does not fire at anything. That is a very, very frustrating thing, I would imagine. Shrek round comes in, though, does impact on the rear armor of that Sherman. And the dual Rakettenwerfers are going to set up. If they get one volley off, this Sherman is not going to want to be around there. No, he doesn't. Oh my gosh, the Sherman's going to get picked off, isn't it? Super close. One more round. 4 more years. No, not going to happen. But the battle in the north is going to go further and further into the German favor. They've been able to deflect the Allied armor. And we're going to see a P4 coming out. Good decision in my mind from Jove. In the meantime, this puppy down here is just barely able, I would think, to bring these guys under fire, but he can't quite see them, can he? There's a bit of a brouhaha right there, preventing the shots coming through from that Schwerpanzer headquarters. But as you can see right now, a massive swath of the Allied war machine is retreating, which allows a very, very quick seizure of territory should the Germans be able to effect it. Now, this machine gun's being flanked like crazy by the Offizier and his retinue, but if the Offizier gets taken out in turn, this could be kind of embarrassing. Oh, the Kattenwerfer shifting on in. Okay, so he's just shifting far enough forward to encourage, let's say, the Americans to fall back. But not to be outdone, there's a soft retreat only. There's mortars setting back up, and the Stuart shifting back in. I don't know how intelligent that might be, as now there's an enemy tank on the map. But the question is, do the Americans know that? My bet is they do not. But the Panther will announce its presence pretty darn quickly here. First round coming in, does a little bit of health damage, not too much. And the riflemen accordingly will just kind of lumber on away, luring him forwards. These guys do still have that ever so lovely anti-tank rifle. Grenade, excuse me. And as such, we will see the Panzer IV only with kind of immediate diminishing returns. Machine gun burst might be enough to suppress these two squads right in front of him. If they do, that's more than enough to see this machine gun survive. But that's an awful lot of guys going on here. Oh my gosh, they're negative cover now, though. On me does it. Get rid of that suppression, and I imagine, yep, there goes that machine gun team. They are completely slaughtered. And once again, though, this MG34 could be able to suppress an awful bunch, but no, he's going to pin off that major instead. This captain's just going to put tons and tons of pressure onto this P4. And it would be better to have these guys fall back right about now. Jove is just dropping squads like crazy. And machine guns are getting picked up by rear echelons everywhere. And that's a bad, bad sign right there, my friends. We will see, though, the Schwerpanzer headquarters access enough of a breakwater to prevent the Allies from taking too much territory. The Kattenwerfer really should come about. He turned at the wrong time. He could have been able to put fire into the Sherman and deflect this particular armored push. Even at this Stuart, been even better. One volley into this Stuart could have been enough. But no, instead he's going to put rounds into the side of this Sherman. Might be able to get one more round in. I don't know. Yep, that's one right there. One more. The Stuart's still in range. Is he not? No, he's not. Apparently the Stuart is just barely out of vision range right there. That's a lucky, lucky thing for Pappy. 171 to 439, 23-10 into this game. More Panzer Fusiliers being called in by Jove. Pappy just taking his time. He's got tons of machine guns now, none of them originally Americans. And this poor isolated squad is going to get slaughtered if they don't move off the point, and there they go before they get taken out. Catman's going to slide up to kind of maybe put a shot into the side of the Stuart, but it wouldn't be too easy. And P4 as well is going to shift on forwards. Might get lucky, might be able to take out a squad or two. But it's not going to be easy. And there's the Stuart right there, gamely shouting and running on forwards with the vision block being damaged now. That brilliant, brilliant, annoying little thing, shell shock, as well as that point-blank engine he could be using. But shell shock is almost enough, I would think. And not quite able to pick off that last machine gunner. It's a lucky thing right there for... Oh, never mind, there he goes. Sherman's going to get taken out here unless the mortars are able to drop a round or two into the Kattenwerfer. Oof, machine gun doing work. And there is another machine gunner crew getting taken out, surprisingly enough, right there. Sturmpiles rushing on forwards might be able to decrew this mortar. The mortar not being able to pay attention to that, too busy microing his tanks over here. Completely understandable, all things considered. Vision block has been damaged, so the question is he able to get a round off into the Sherman? It's really the only thing that's going to really hurt him. That's out of control. Sherman. Stuart, is he going to get picked off as well? Yes, he is. There goes the Stuart. He goes off the map, and my friends, he gets lost. So big turnaround right there. Yes, some infantry's been savage on the German side of things, but with the death of both of those vehicles, now Pappy's got to wait out for that Pershing to come on the field. And going to be able to come on much quicker than Zjagtiga, but between... Where's that other pack? A Raketten, rather. Another Raketten in the north. He's still right there, so we could see a recruit Rakettenwerfer. Really good idea to have one of these guys slide up on top of that bad boy. But yes. Yes, my friends, we have ourselves a game. Though Jove is still under 100 tickets here, he doesn't seem to be able to take and hold any of these positions. As a heavy machine gun finds his open squads, and is going to continue just to kind of cut them to pieces here. This poor Rakettenwerfer is being caught in a suppression as a byblow. But now he can't be seen, which means it's going to become a German position yet again. At least I think so. It's going to be close if nothing else. And 26 minutes in, what do we have? Well, Breakthrough Doctrine is being popped with Breakthrough Tactics. It's going to allow him to come down. Just watch how quickly this thing drops away. 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Super, super fly fast. That's an awesome, awesome thing right there happening for the Germans. Rakettenwerfer has been forced back by this push by Allied infantry. And it's going to be decapped yet again, but Jove might be able to turn this around. There is going to be an incendiary grenade going off, but there's also going to be a Pershing coming onto the field. And once that Pershing comes in, I don't know if the Germans have enough to take out the opposing main battle tank. That thing is pretty heavy. And I mean heavy like, oh man, bro, that's heavy. I mean like, dude, that's a super heavy tank. And it's going to be very much an uphill battle for the Germans. Breakthrough Tactics running out pretty darn soon here. 5 more seconds. Unless the Germans are lucky, they can take out this knot of Allied material. Impossible, but highly, highly unlikely. Especially if the Pershing announces its presence and runs over a bunch of guys. No, not quite, but here comes a Faust or two, I would say. Yikes, that guy gets savaged. That's a 5-star vet right there as well, so he can't really afford to lose that. Shell comes in, not going to be enough to take him out. Explosions going in every single direction. And Sturmpio's squad, 3 stars of veterancy, they still have that lovely, lovely Shrek. And what's to the north up here? Okay, well, MG-34 is back in German hands, and they were flirting with the idea of taking back this position. Seems far more likely. Yep, there goes the German infantry squads. 2-1 cap now in favor of the Germans, which is shocking in many different ways for me. The Americans still do own 2. He didn't tech backwards, did he?
A capture point is being overrun.
We're back to full strength. Crew ready.
Okay, I looked for some reason like it was a long barrel. I was like, wait a second, he didn't tech back towards a who's a lieutenant, didn't he? I didn't see a lieutenant on the map at all. Would have been a very bad idea. Off-map smoke barrage. So Sightline's going to go to the complete dogs at the moment, which is unfortunate for the Germans because he doesn't really have the tickets to play with this kind of nonsense. And again, it continues just to be the Americans hunkering down the middle part of the field, and this lack of munitions to support the assault artillery might be the undoing for Jove. If you're dropping assault artillery on this sector right here, it could be brutally devastating. You see a bunch of sandbags coming down, and yikes, is this going to be enough? I don't know, but it's been a decap, at least to the north. And these Volksgrenadiers are going to get pinned. Just you watch. Just another burst or two, and there's the pin right there. And this Major's coming in to do damage, and so are the Mortars. The Mortar's doing a fair bit of work. 0 kills on that one, but 1 kill there. Kind of thought it'd be more devastating than that, but every now and again I imagine that's how it goes. P4 is moving on in, going to take himself a fair bit of firepower, I would say. Throwing a round or 2 down range. Not enough quite yet. And this Panther coming in as well. So we can see threatening a Panther pilot kind of attack moving forwards. And there's a Miller, excuse me, Miller. It's a mortar team going down right about now. And this Pershing is taking some hits. Not enough to write home to mom just yet. But it's still pretty darn good. And these Panther 4s and Panthers seem to have no respect the hard work of the American rifle battalions over here, and every single anti-tank opportunity throwing rounds into that Pershing, not going to be enough to force it away just yet. Indeed, the Panther and the P4 are trying hard to push forwards here, but if Jove loses those tanks, he's completely hosed. It's time to retreat, my friends. It is time to retreat. They limp away ever so barely. Both main tanks extremely wounded, and right now the Sturm-Pio unit has 0 repairability. You see right now the P4 is in reverse. I would hope back into base. No, he's not going to. He's got to wait for the Sturm-Pio to get kind of all fixed up. It's going to be a bit of time yet as well. To 53 tickets to 429. If the Pershing goes down and the German tanks stay up, then Jove wins. It won't be easy, but Jove wins. If, meanwhile, the Americans manage to take up either of these positions right here, well, Jove loses. It's almost as simple as that.
I say again, Germans have 50 points left.
The abused Panther comes back forwards. Meanwhile, the repaired Pershing is still in the area, able to put as much firepower as he wants to. So I imagine we're going to see the end of the German forces right here. This Panther, 2 shots from away from death. Sturmhoffizier not able to do any sort of the material that he's hoping to do. The abused squad falls apart. Sturmhoffizier dies. Germans are trying desperately to decap his position right here, but there's another captain squad on top of that point. Volk Grenadiers coming in behind and doing work. There we go. So that's a decap point right there for the Germans. But it's still not a particularly rosy picture. But maybe I'm missing something. Ooh, wow. That guy just got hammered. Retreat, my friends. Retreat. One more shot is going to take him out. There goes another highly vetted up squad. Both players losing very, very vetted up units. There we go. Finally pulling back in the face of such reckless destruction. Panzer Fusiliers might be enough to take out this machine gun. Well, that's a grenade right there. That's 1.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
And 2? No, not quite. Another Sherman being brought in. Here goes the Panzer IV to just duel with the Pershing. And the first round, surprisingly enough, is going pretty well for the Germans. Another round from that Pershing should even things up rather severely, though. Yep, that does. Puts him down below 50% health. And away goes the P4. Jove desperately trying to capture. He's got about 4 squads of mainline infantry left, matching his opponent rather well. And his opponent has no repair work, no repairability. Oh, never mind. There's that rear echelon right there. For some reason, I didn't see that in the material out there. Long-range rifle grenade comes out. AT grenade, rather, goes out. And somehow magically doesn't hit anything. And indeed, there goes one of his more prime squads. Excuse me. Panzer Fusiliers to the south. A predictive grenade goes out, but unfortunately the Americans get even tighter than that. The Panzer Fusiliers will be forced to fall back. Just watch. 3, 2, 1. Retreat, my friends. Retreat. No, Jove is sticking it out. If he loses this squad, it's probably going to be over for him. 35 to 429. Yep, there goes that squad. All that's left is a desperate throw of his main battle tanks. His Panther should be able to get in and around to take out either the Pershing or the Sherman, but not both. No, the first one comes out and doesn't hit the primary target, I would say. Panther doing work, but not the easiest moment for him. It's 1-on-2, and even though that is a Sherman, oof, that counts as a rear armor hit? That's completely unfair. P4 sliding on in, trying to put fire. Oh no, not able to hit the Sherman. Misses on the bounce, let's call it. And rear armor hits happening again like crazy. And that Panzer IV is going to brew up. And that's going to be pretty much all she wrote, I would say. Jove taps out 33 to 423. Why did he tap out, folks? Well, that's because he only had 3 squads of infantry. He had a severely wounded Panther. And his opponent had a main battle tank that was just absolutely bonkers crazy. As well as another Sherman and highly vetted up squads. And just couldn't be survived against. His lowest veterancy is right here, and it's a captured machine gun. Even his rear echelons, all these guys, tons of veterancy. So unfortunate to see that happen, but nevertheless, in 34 minutes and 21 seconds, we see Jove get taken out by Pappy O Daniel. End score 33 to 423. Winner by way of surrender is Pappy. Well done, Pappy. Unfortunate there, Jove. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all soon. This is Connorworks signing off. Take it easy, everybody.